Cool. Alright, and then... How does this work? Whoa, okay. Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to the first stream. Um, yeah, really excited to see this many people here. Didn't expect so many people to tune in, but cool. So hopefully everybody's doing well. If you didn't see the YouTube announcement video, this is just like a test stream for me to sort of make sure everything's working properly. I was having, yeah, yeah, I have a beard. Well, yeah. Either way, this is just a test stream. I'm actually just gonna be writing like a quick. I was thinking like a height map generator, and then be able to rotate the camera around and stuff. So I'm not working on the game today, but that'll come later. I could have worked on the game today. I just wanted to do something relaxing while I tried to test everything out. So yeah. One thing that I wanted to talk about before I got into it was basically why I'm doing this, why I started streaming. First of all, I thought it would be really productive for me personally. I have a tendency to sometimes get distracted and stuff like that, like I think a lot of people do. And on stream, you can't really do that to so far of an extent, so I figured it would be really productive for me to do this sort of thing. Additionally, I think it'll also increase the quality of the code that I write, right? So if everybody on the stream is like double checking, or not like, just giving me their ideas, and they can act as a way for me to bounce ideas off of somebody, that I think that'll make for a more effective development process. And like additionally, it might be educational and fun for other people as well. So that's why I'm streaming. As I said, oh, don't forget to mention the stream on the server. Good call. Thank you. Yeah, see, I'm like a plebeian streamer. So let me just grab all this. Stream. Oh, I guess I should do that in the announcement channel. Stream live now. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. So, as I said, in this stream, I'll just be making, I was thinking I was just going to have like a height map generator sort of thing in OpenGL that the user can drag around with their camera or rotate around or whatever. Yeah, that's the plan. Just to let everybody know, the stream might crash, right? I was trying streaming like a couple days ago, like just privately on YouTube, and OBS keeps having this weird problem where it's like can't initialize sound device or something, and I don't know why that's happening. So if it does happen, stick around, I'll restart and I'll go back live and everything will be okay. So yeah, that's I think that's everything that I had to talk about. So I guess I'll just jump right into it. Yeah, thanks everybody for coming on. Excited to see everybody here. So I set up like a little project here just to sort of just for the stream. So I'll go ahead and open this up. I use code blocks on Windows, just because I always have, and it's what I'm used to. So here I have an empty main.cpp. So this is where everything will happen. I'm compiling this project as a Unity build, as I usually do nowadays, because I think it's better for my purposes at least. Yeah, so I guess I'll go ahead and get started. I don't know how the transition is supposed to really work in streaming. I've never done this before, so this is cool. So I'll be using a few libraries when developing this like tiny little application. And basically the only two big externally compiled ones that I'll be using are GLFW and Glue. GLFW is just a framework interface. It's like a partial platform layer. You can create a window and stuff and create an active OpenGL context and receive input and everything like that. And Glue just basically loads OpenGL stuff. And I'm not going to get deeper than that because I don't really understand deeper than that. I'm not an expert in OpenGL. So, that being said, I will go ahead and try to get started here. So I wanted to start off, the thing that I have to do first is call this glfw init. I'll go ahead and pass it into an if statement. I'm pretty sure it returns non-zero on success. So if this if branch is entered, it will be successful. And then else I'll just printf error glfw initialization failed. No, I don't use DirectX. I used OpenGL. Yeah. I don't know if I ever accidentally said DirectX somewhere. I don't think I did. You might be getting confused with an old library that I wrote myself called DXE. So DXE is very misleading because some things in DirectX I think like start with DX or whatever. But yeah. So Jack OJC. I'm making like a height map generator in OpenGL just as like a test stream. Like later, all the streams will focus on the actual game, the Melodist. But right now, I just wanted to write something relaxing while I test streaming out. So that's the plan. Yeah. So one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new file. Hopefully this isn't too upsetting for people, but I'm going to make a globals.cpp file because we have some globals that we have to worry about. And I don't know how familiar you guys I don't know how familiar you guys are with Unity builds, but effectively you end up including all the CPPs eventually into the main file. So that's exactly what I'm going to do here. And I will go ahead and create a pointer to a glfw window, and then I'm going to call it, or I'm going to set it equal to null. And there's one thing that I actually forgot, which is my a single header library that I wrote that makes programming pretty darn nice to do in C. So I'm going to go ahead and go to github.com. So, ooh, yeah, sorry about my keyboard. I don't really know how to fix that. Yeah, well, hopefully it's not horrible. I'll try to type quieter. If it makes it any better, it makes it very, very satisfying to type on. What was I gonna grab? Uh-oh. I don't know why it's not there. That's bizarre. Okay. I guess I'll source. It's somewhere in here. Here it is. Actually, I want to go to here. Source section. So I have this file called rf_utils. RF are my initials. I am using the Razer Ornata Chroma. Don't mind my pronunciation. Oh, I'm also gonna grab that one. Okay. So I'm grabbing these two single header libraries. I'm gonna throw them into an ext folder because I like separating all the external code out. And that's all I need. So I'll go ahead and include these right here. Ext rfutils.h. I don't know why it's not on my GitHub. That's really weird. I'll have to push it again or something. But either way, rfutils is really nice. It includes some just some convenient stuff like for each loops. I don't do the array trick with for each loops. I actually just loop to an upper bound and then I just pass the upper bound in because I found that more useful. I also have type defs for fixed size integers because typing int 8_t all the time is extremely it makes me cry. So yes, rfutils was on my repo like not too long ago. I don't know what happened there. Good thing I have copies of it, I guess. So yeah. So anyways, I guess I have to go through this process, which is a little painful. RFutils. I don't know if this version is the newest one. Yes, it is. Okay. So we have a global GLFW window, and then, let's see. Yeah, Miyatatsu. See, yeah, I agree. Makes me cry. So, alright. So, I actually have a little cheat sheet of, like, some GLFW functions that I have to call. I want to make a resizable window. I think it's just one. I guess it's GLFW resizable. And then or that's not what I wanted to do. I'm gonna request an OpenGL version, major 3, and then minor 3 as well. So yeah, I'm not using null or null pointer. Just for fun. Yeah, exactly. I'm old school, right? Yeah. So that's how that's gonna work. And then I actually have to create the window. Create window. Let's see. We need a width. I guess we'll make some variables called window width and window height. We'll do like stream program that is cool or something. And then I think you can just pass in nulls for the other ones. Yeah, that's how that works. So if the window doesn't initialize properly, there's no point in doing a bunch of height map stuff. So we'll just kill the program basically if that happens. So if the window doesn't open properly, we'll output an error, and we'll just do DLFW window creation failed. And I don't want to remember to put periods everywhere, so I'm going to take those out. So, okay. I finally get to see, okay, the iDog for the win. I finally get to see how a proper way of doing OpenGL is done. I'm not going to promise that. I'm not an expert. I will never claim to be an expert. At least right now, right? I'm like a college student, so I'm kind of a little pleb. Yeah, we'll make some window width and window height variables. We'll just set those to, I don't know, 1600 by 900. And yeah, output to error. I could. What might be even more preferable is to do. This is how I do it in most of my projects. Is I just make like a global file and call it log file, and then I'll just grab that. And then actually, usually I initialize it to this standard out. I don't know the benefits of standard error versus standard out. Hopefully that doesn't upset people. I feel like I have a very unpopular style of programming, I think, in the grand scheme of things. So yeah, I assume that a lot of things I do unbuffered. Not 100% sure what you mean by that. Hopefully I'll understand it better. But yeah, you know, I'll take your word for it. I'll go ahead and do standard error. Hopefully that makes everybody happy. And then this is where like the loop will start. Actually, before that, I think so. Make context current, and then we'll make the Windows OpenGL context the one that's currently being used. Okay. So Jack, you're gonna try to explain I assume the buffering thing. Cool. Anyways, there's a function to set basically how fast GLFW swaps buffers, and if it's 1, it's basically VSync, as far as I understand. And I don't really want to deal with VSync. I don't actually like it. Oh, hiccup. And then, so that's all done. If it gets to this point, GLFW has been initialized properly, the window's been created, and then now we'll initialize glue here. And actually, I think, does glue return positive or negative on initialization? Ooh, fprintf, forgot about that. Already 2 nested ifs. Why don't you just return from the main function if an error occurs? Because there might be some things that I want to do after. Oh, Miyotatsu, standard error is mainly nice because you can redirect it separately from standard out. Standard out will flush when there's a new line anyways. That makes sense. Okay. That all makes sense. But yeah, I don't think nesting is actually bad, Hazurl, if I'm hopefully I'm pronouncing that name right. I don't think nesting's bad. I think it's fairly straightforward. I think nesting's perfectly fine, in my opinion. I think it makes sense to nest things however works. Okay, let's see. Basically, with standard out, all the stuff you print is stored into a small buffer of memory where it waits until it reaches a certain size. Oh, I see. You will not... Okay, that actually makes a lot of sense. Okay, cool. Yeah, so in that case, standard error actually is kind of a better option at that point. If all of that, if what you said is like accurate and everything, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. You know, thanks Jack OJC. I'm not an expert either, so and I'm never going to claim to be. So yeah, thanks. So if this fails, glue initialization. I don't know why that word is so hard to spell. Failed. So glue's initialized. I think it does return 0 on success. So we'll do that. All right, and at this point, I think we can make a loop now. So we'll just go ahead and do, well, window should close is false, then we'll just loop, and then we have to call this glfw function pull events, which will do what we need to. Let's see if that builds. Ooh, yeah, I have to include some stuff. I definitely forgot about a lot of that stuff. Standard io.h is where file is as far as I know, and then glue. Or I guess it's, yeah, that's right. I don't know if that's cool. All right, there we go. So now we have this window opening, and if I click that, it closes. Yeah, so I'm not super like experienced with writing like platform layers or anything. I've always been comfortable with using libraries. I realize that like I'll want to change that at some point. But I do like how easy glfw makes it to kind of set everything up and get it working. As far as like opening a window and establishing an OpenGL context and stuff goes. That being said, so yeah, that all works pretty well. I'll make some doubles that store the mouse X and mouse Y, because that's what glfw returns to you when you actually get the mouse position. I think it's mouse get I'm not sure what the correct function is. Oh, cursor pause. Alright, yeah, don't mind me. Mouse X and mouse Y. And, okay. Yes, I definitely agree, Jack. If you do get caught up in little small details, you won't finish a project, right? Little stuff. It's sort of like the debate between like I++ or ++I. It's like nobody cares, right? It's the difference is so tiny that it doesn't really make a difference. And worrying about it will just slow you down in the end. I have a notification on my Discord. Oh, turns out I do. Oh, cool. It was from Randall. Yeah. It was from Randall. I don't know if Randall's watching the stream right now, but yeah. So, okay. So we're getting the mouse position in theory. Oh, nice. How's it going, Randall? Thanks for coming on, man. Hey, Rector, how's it going? Thanks for coming on. So yeah, now we'll sort of get the rendering stuff working in theory. So the first thing I want to do is clear color. I'll clear it to black because that, in my opinion, makes the most sense. I don't really like it when applications clear to other things, honestly, which might be like a whatever. I won't. Yeah, I won't get into it. I just want to call GL clear, and then I want to clear, or not clear. What are the things? Depth buffer, bit, GL color buffer, and then I think that's everything I need there. And then I'll just put all the rendering inside this block. So I'll just make a comment, rendering. Put an @sign. The @sign thing is something I actually saw in like one of Jonathan Blow's streams, and I actually really liked it. Because then, if you try to find something important, you can just search for the @sign, and then it's good to go. Aren't you supposed to call GL clear color before GL clear? Maybe? If you care about the color of the clear. Yeah, I don't know. I've always called GL clear before GL clear color. I do that in the game, actually. So, and it works fine as far as I know. So I'm not gonna worry about it too much. And you know, if it does cause problems, we can flip it around. And then all we want to do is swap the buffers there. And let's see. There we go. We have it clearing to black. Sweet. So that's all working well. And it does turn out that glue in it returns 0 on success. How nervous am I right now? Pretty nervous, considering I like trip over my words all the time. Try clearing to red. All right. There we go. Thanks, NSO 1995. Yeah. I don't want to be blinded every time, so I'm going to change that back to black. And that's all working pretty well. I guess the next thing I'll do is kind of set up the handmade math portion of things. I'm not well versed. Just like I'm not well versed in OpenGL. I mean, like, I'm a little bit, but like I'm not an OpenGL guru or anything. I'm also not well versed in like linear algebra and stuff, so I'm not going to be doing like matrix math myself. Just like I don't in the game, actually. So I use this really great single header library called handmademath.h. It's available on Handmade Network. If you go there, you can find it. It's like a drop-in replacement for GLM. But it's nice because it's a single header, and then your project doesn't have an external compile dependency that has a lot of templates and stuff. So Doggeruski, GeoClear color sets the color of the clear. So if you call it after, technically for the first frame it'll be black, but it doesn't matter. Yeah. It doesn't really. I don't think it matters. So okay. Now I mean this is a tiny program, so I'm not sure I need to set up like a state system or anything. I guess something I can do is just sort of allocate a big buffer of memory and then just use that stuff as I need to. So I guess I'll just create a new file. I guess I'll call it viewer.cpp. That makes sense. I'll make a struct here. Viewer data, and then that's it. Yeah, that makes sense. And what I'll do in globals is I'll just have a global void pointer. I guess I'll just call it memory. Doesn't really matter for this small of a program. And if it gets to here, if it gets past glue initialization, then I will go ahead and do init viewer, and then I'll make a function called cleanup viewer. And the reason I call it different functions like this instead of doing it in main is just so if I'm worrying about the viewer, I can just jump into viewer.cpp and sort of reason about it in here, right? So we'll void init viewer, and then void cleanup viewer. And then what I'll do in here is just include that file. Oh heck, I was supposed to do the handmade math stuff. I was getting into that, and then I just never actually touched it. So yeah, handmade math is a great library. I use it in my project. It's really nice. It does what it's supposed to do. Yeah, that's all I really have to say about that. So in order to use it, you just do define handmade math implementation, I think, and then include it. Handmade math. Let me just double check. Handmade math. Is that matching case? Oh, it is. Okay. Handmade math. Oh, wow. It was right there in front of me. Whoops. Okay. Cool. So that all should be fine. Let's go ahead and try compiling there. In init viewer, I'm going to allocate enough memory to hold all the stuff I need for the viewer, and then in cleanup viewer, I'm going to free that memory and then just set it to null or 0 for Windows is too loud, like the last stream. Okay, cool. Thanks for letting me know. Actually, yeah, you're right. Sorry about that. Hopefully headphone users didn't just like go deaf or something, so I'm not just talking to nothing. Yeah, sorry about that, Jack, OJC. So yeah, okay. So viewer data, that's gonna allocate nothing, or maybe allocate some small padding. I don't exactly remember. Either way, malloc should just work, because I think it returns null if you just pass in 0 bytes. So that'll all be fine. And then I'll make a function called update viewer. And then I like to have like a really short, like very terse pointer to the data. And this is C++, so I have to cast it. You can't implicitly cast pointers. So there we go. So now I have this v pointer. I can just access whatever I need to inside of v when I call this update viewer function, which will happen in here. And I keep forgetting about the handmade math stuff. This is getting ridiculous. So in globals, I will go ahead and do global. I need to make 3 different 4x4 matrices for 3 different 4x4 matrices to deal with transformations of 3D world space into screen space. And again, don't ask me questions on this because I'm like not a linear algebra expert or anything. Is that even like what math field this falls into? Whatever, probably. So matrix 4, and then we'll do model view projection. And then, so, when it comes to model, we'll do that when we actually draw the thing, because it's dependent on the model. In terms of view, that's also, like, depending on the camera and everything, so we'll do that inside of update viewer. But projection is the thing that we actually care about updating, like, all the time, basically. At least this is like my thought process. Matrices are linear algebra. Thank you, Miyotatsu. I just had to make sure that I wasn't saying something incredibly ridiculous there. So perspective. We're going to set the projection matrix to a perspective view because we're doing. I mean, we could. I shouldn't say that because we can do. We can do orthographic if we wanted to, but I think perspective fits more for what I'm trying to sort of visualize in my head. But, so field of view, I'll just do 90 for now. Aspect ratio, window width divided by window height. And then that's going to actually turn out to be 0. So I have to cast one of these to a float. Near, I don't know, 1 and 100. We'll start out with that. And then when we initialize all this stuff, we'll do, actually, that's not initialization. This is. So we'll just do real quick. Model equals 4D1. And then okay, so bore guts. Bore guts, I'm making just a height map viewer, basically, like it's just going to generate a height map and then view it. Yeah. I don't know what's happening in the chat. Jack OJC, are you okay? Like, I don't even know at this point. Is it somebody? Why use malloc and not new? Enemy Panda. I don't like using C++ stuff in general. I kind of like programming in C-style where everything is very obvious as to what it is. So malloc is just a function. Like when you want to allocate memory, it's just a function. It's not some like C++ language feature operator. I just think it's more clear. I mean, in reality, it's going to be pretty similar in the end, but additionally, I'm not going to have a constructor or anything, so I don't need that to be called. Oh, there you go. Yeah, Miyotatsu's, like, explaining what I was just about to. So, yeah. Oh, okay, you just saw somebody that you knew. Cool. That's awesome. Hopefully this stream brings lots of people together. I just want to remind everybody that if this stream goes down, like the stream I was doing before did, stick around. I'll bring it back up because I don't know. Like, hopefully this is all working well. I have no idea what's happening. So yeah, viewer data is empty right now, and that's a problem. So I guess what I'll do, I like having all my program options inside of main as well because it's just like one central location I can do to sort of like just look at everything. So what I'll do here is I'll have like external library includes internal library. I'll just do libraries just because like it's not just includes, right? Because I have defines and stuff that might need to happen in the internal library section. I'm like really OCD about that sort of thing. So there's all that. Alrighty. So globals and viewer, I'll just say like viewer code. And that's just so I can look at this later and like very cleanly see what I care about. I'm also going to make a program options section. And in here, I'll define height map width to be, I'll just make it like 100 by 100 for now. We can change this later. So 100 by 100. As far as how many people are viewing right now, does anybody know? 19. Wow. Thanks everybody. Wow, this is cool. Thanks for tuning in. This is kind of nerve-wracking. Is it still 19? I don't know. I guess I should just 23. Good lord. All right. Well, anyways, cool. Yeah. Wow. Thanks everybody. So in the viewer, we'll have so viewer data is being heap allocated, right? And actually, I don't have to do this, right? I can actually make this look a little bit nicer because in my I always forget to use this, but I actually have a macro in rfutils that's heap alloc that basically just it like does a heap allocation, and it's just a nicer way of typing it. So I'll do heap alloc well, you know, I'm not actually creating a pointer to viewer data, so whatever, never mind. Just something to keep in mind. But yeah, so I'm gonna make a 2D array of floats here that is the size of how many points on the height map we need. So I'll do height map heights, I guess. That's a little like cumbersome to type though, so maybe I'll just do heights. That's fine. It doesn't matter. So height map width by height map height. And there we go. I said the OCD word. Yes, I did. Exaggeration's okay, in my opinion. I don't actually have OCD, but it's. I'm not gonna get into this. Yeah, 25 whole people apparently. Who said that? A social walrus, Lachlan. Yeah, 25. I can't believe it. Oh, is it a meme? I didn't know. Fair enough. Like, I'm not like well versed in meme culture. Show us your power level. Yeah. Anyways, so I want to do the same thing here. This is a little cumbersome to do, like per function, to create this v pointer, but it's just nice to have for later. And you only have to do it really once every time you need it, so whatever. So I'm gonna for each from I to height map width and j to height map height, and then I'm going to do v heights I j equals 0.f. So now I've sort of generated this this like flat thing of heights. Now I should actually probably make sure it gets uploaded to OpenGL, right? Because that's kind of important, so it can actually be rendered by the hardware. So we're gonna create a few OpenGL IDs here. We need a VAO, and then we'll do vertex buffer, normal buffer, and I won't need UVs because I'm just doing color, which I need a color buffer then too, right? Yeah, I do. I definitely do. So I'll do color buffer. So Um, yeah, 1% of my YouTube subscribers. I know it's okay. I think a lot of my no, it didn't come off me. You know, it's it's all right. I think a lot of my viewers on YouTube aren't necessarily like interested as much in the programming stuff, which is totally okay. I don't really mind that at all. So yeah, shaders. That's true, but I want to have like colors vary per vertex. So I could do that in the shader too, I guess. But yeah. So anyways, I have to actually generate some OpenGL stuff. So I'll do VO equals GL gen vertex arrays. We have to allocate that in the VRAM. Oh, you don't set it equal. Sorry, that's not right. I'll do an ampersand there, and then vertex array, VVIO, field line. Okay. So I'm just gonna make a scope here so it's easier to look at. So when we clean up the viewer, we'll just free that stuff back to the VRAM. I don't think it'll really matter, but you know, whatever. So we'll delete vertex arrays, and we'll pass in the number of vertex arrays and then the VAO ID. Oh man, so many hiccups today. Okay. Now I need to actually generate all of the buffers that OpenGL needs to use here. So glgen buffers 1 v vertex buffer, bind buffer, v vertex buffer, and then we have to upload the data. Array buffer, and the size I can't remember. Yeah, it's just the size and bytes of the data you're uploading. So I'll do size of R32 times map width times height map height. Ooh, didn't need that there. I should probably try compiling soon because I'm probably like making mistakes all over the place. Usage. I totally forgot what I have to pass into that. Does anybody actually know what you... Again, I'm not an expert with OpenGL or anything. I can just check in my code, but if somebody knows, that'd be cool. It's probably okay. Oh, wow. I'm doing it totally incorrectly. Static draw. Thank you very much. Okay. Yeah, it is static draw, because that can, like, hint the GPU to, like, store it in a different way, depending on if you want dynamic or whatnot. I'm doing this wrong, though. This is not correct. I need to actually make the vertices, not just the heights of the vertices. So that's totally incorrect. So I'm supposed to be teaching you OpenGL. I'm sorry, Dagaruski. I'm not an expert. I would recommend looking up some tutorials. Not listening to me. So, yeah. So, we'll do, so it's one vertex. Well, okay, let's just think about this real quick. If we open up Color Paint, I want it to be like low poly. I was thinking low poly just because, like, I've never done that before. I thought it'd be kind of cool. So, we don't have, like, we can't use triangle strips, right? Because then shaders will, like, interpolate between them. Great drawing. But I don't want the shaders to interpolate between them because I want the shading to look really flat and old because I am interested in the low poly look. So we actually have to do 3 different vertices per triangle. So in this case, what do I want height map width to be? Well, I could just use this height for the same for these two. No indices. I don't really know how to use indices, I'm gonna be honest. So yeah, that's the thing. Again, not an OpenGL expert or anything. How much will I sell this piece of modern art for? $1 million. Miyataku. So I'm trying to exactly understand the arrangement of data that I have here. So we need triangles separate for each particular. Yeah, what a deal, right? So we need different triangles. Each grid square, if you will be the different heights. So we have a height here, a height here. This is like a confusing frickin' drawing. We'll do something like that, right? Thin matrix's style. I know. I was watching his videos the other day, and I was like, you know, I gotta try that in a stream just for fun. So, so we have 1, 2. So that this is if this were theoretically the size of the whole height map, this would be, let's see. So all of these would be width, and then these would be height. So the number of triangles that I have to generate is width times 2, right? Times height, right? Because then, in that case, if we did width was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so equals 6, and then height equals 1, obviously. So 1. If that's all, so if width is 6 and height is 1, then multiplying by width times 2 times 1 will give 12, obviously, and then that will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Incorrect, apparently. Maybe it should be width minus 1, actually, because these, I'm not sure I totally understand that. So let's see. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is the size of the array, but we only need 5. That makes sense because there's 5 gaps, right? So okay, I'm just nervous, you know, for the stream. I don't know why that's a comma. It shouldn't be. Oh, because I was about to add in normal stuff. Normals will just be calculated. I'm only going to generate this once. I'm not going to have it be dynamic right now. So I'm just going to... Are we talking about Thin Matrix? I like Thin Matrix. I've talked to him like once, and he was like a nice dude. So, and he is incredibly productive. I don't know how he stays so productive, actually. It's a little insane, because I struggle getting through the week, right? So, anyways, we have this heights array. We need to make vertices for all of those. So let's go ahead and jump into main, and we'll do define height map cell size. We'll make it like, I don't know. We'll just call it 1. Actually, no, I don't want to style it like that. There we go. That looks very nice. Okay. Okay. So that all makes sense. So, we'll make an array of floats. We'll call it vertices. We're gonna heap allocate it. Just so we don't well, we would have to. So heap alloc R32, and then we want, I'm actually curious, does this n? Okay, so you just pass in the number of the types that you want. Okay. Oh, thank you, Jack OJC. Please don't worship me. I'm just a person just like you. You're probably joking. I understand that, but R32 and we need to generate 3 floats per vertex, right? So we have, in this case, we would have height plus 1, or yeah, so we have height plus 1. Oh wait, but I'm thinking about this wrongly again. Right, so the number of triangles, so triangles, that's delta, I know, or like, that's like the, I don't know the Greek, is it Greek? Who knows? I'm just gonna pretend that it is. So that's the number of triangles, right? So number of triangles equals width minus 1 times height. In this case, it equals 12, or I mean 10, right? And then we need to allocate this times 3, so 10 times 3 equals number of v's, which is short for vertex, or vertices, I guess. Whatever. So what's going on here? Now here's the thing, he doesn't want you to worship him, but you will worship him if he's humble. Therefore, ooh. I'm not even going to try to think about that right now. That's a lot of processing power there. Either way, we need to do the number of triangles times 3 to get the number of vertices that we have to allocate. So it'll be height map width minus 1 times height map height, and then we need 3 floats per vertex, right? And that should be all good. Let me just make sure this is an okay macro. It's not an okay macro, actually. I'm gonna have to update this. That should be in parentheses, so yeah, I don't think it would have mattered in this case, actually. But either way, that shouldn't be a thing. So 200 IQ logic, yeah. Heap alloc deadass. So okay. So we have all of the vertices we need in here. We just need to fill it out. So we'll do, for each, we'll do the, well, I guess I can just fill it directly out in this loop. I don't have to loop twice. Vertices, we'll want to do, we just made a single dimensional array. Oh, I'll just loop through it singly, because I don't want to, yeah, whatever. I'll just do it in the simplest way possible, because that's what matters for getting stuff done. So I'll loop from I to, yes, Hazarl, I don't know how far back you are right now, but I definitely, yeah, I got that, eventually. I'm actually a really slow thinker. Like, actually, I got like IQ tested, and like I'm a slow thinker. So either way, I'm gonna loop through height map. Actually, I just want a regular 4 here. I don't want to do 4 each because I have to go by 3. So 4, we don't know how big that's gonna be. I'll say, I'll just use a 32-bit, whatever. It really doesn't matter. It's probably going to work anyways. I is less than, height map width minus 1 times height map height times 3, and then plus I. And okay, so we're looping through, and we don't want to add 1 to I, we want to add 3 to I. Or, yes, we want to add 3 to I. So we're starting at 0. Might as well make that unsigned. We don't need it to be signed. Make another macro for the number of triangles. No thanks. That's not useful. So we're looping through all of those, and what we'll do, so we need the x, the y, so y is going to be up, and then x and z are like, whatever, they're flat, if that makes sense. And we'll just do, I16, or I guess U32. We'll do right x and right y equals 0, right y equals 0, or right z, actually. Vertices I will equal right x times, what did I call it? Height map cell size, I'll just grab that. Vertices I plus 1 equals right, actually it'll just be v heights at right x and then right z, and then vertices I plus 2 will be the z component of this particular vertex, in which case it'll be right z times height map cell size, and that will that should load everything properly, but I do have to change these right x and right z things as we increase. So so we'll do if right x greater than or equal to height map width, then we'll reset it to 0 for the next loop, and then increment right z. And now that should actually load everything properly. So we're loading in the vertices, we'll load in the number of floats there are, which will be height map width minus 1 times height map height times 3. I think that looks correct to me. And at the end of all this, I'll just free vertices because it's going to be stored on the GPU now anyways. I don't need it. So that should all be good. Now I have to worry about generating the normals as well, right? So normals, because I want it to be shaded and stuff. The normals so I've done normals before, normal calculation by a like given 3 vertices, what's the normal vector of those 3 vertices. But I always did this sort of thing where, you know, like how every programmer works when they first are trying to learn something, they go to Google, Stack Overflow or something, and then they just like, you know, like copy and paste some code and then get it working somehow, right? So I don't want to do that. I want to, because I took Physics 2 last semester and I know about the cross product, and I'm pretty sure that that will give you a normal for a given set of vertices, right? So if I don't need this anymore. I think I figured that out. So if I have 3 vertices, this will be like 3D drawing, so this is going to be really bad. But the normal goes that way, right? So the cross product kind of gives you that, right? If you take this cross this, it will give you either this way or this way, right? And if it's in the wrong direction, we can just flip it. I don't think it's going to matter too much. But all we have to do, given 3 vertices, is take the cross product between 2 of the vectors that make up the sides, right? So it should be pretty easy to get this particular calculation done. And then the cross product, like, because if you think about the cross product, right-hand rule will be one vector and then the other vector, and then the third vector, that times, or that cross that will give you this vector right here with a certain length. It's the magnitude of the lengths of these multiplied, as far as I know, multiplied to the cosine of the angle between them, I believe. So that's what the cross product gives you. So all we need to do is calculate the cross product of those two vertices and then normalize it. And that should give us a correct value. But before I actually even touch that, I'm just going to try to compile this. Whoops. That's what I wanted to do. Stream program, that is cool. Nice. Okay. It's compiling. Seems like it's doing all right. And I will go ahead and delete buffers 1, and then the vertex buffer. I'm curious. 27 people now. Wow, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really, that's insane, actually. So we have all of this stuff uploaded to the GPU, and now we need a way to draw it, right? And the way to do that in like modern OpenGL is like with shaders and everything. And I don't want to write a shader loader, so I'm going to grab the one that I used on the game, right? So, whoa, 4 Discord notifications. What is happening here? Oh, I see. I see. Gotcha, Jacko JC. Okay. Well, anyways, never mind that. Should be all okay. I'm gonna check if my fish is alive. He's right here. Don't worry. I'm just gonna double check that he's moving. He's alright. He's doing well. Alrighty. So, we have all that stuff uploaded. And I'm gonna take the shader code from my game, right, from the Melodist, because I don't want to write it right now. I don't want to go through that process. This would have been the saddest stream ever if my fish died. Yes, NSO 1995, that's true. That is very, very true. So source, the stuff, yeah, I know, it's not in folders or whatever. I can navigate it fine. Yeah, I know. Everybody's gonna yell at me for not putting all this stuff in like nice little boxes. I understand. I'm the only programmer on the project. It's okay. So as far as shader stuff, that would be in resources. And actually, I'm just gonna grab. Oh shoot. So, there's a bunch of stuff that I don't need in here, but the stuff that I do need is basically this stuff. So I just need to load in a shader. And I don't want to write this again, so I'm going to copy it from the project. You guys are going to yell at me. Probably. Oh, what's this about a fish? I just checked if my fish was alive. I don't know who said. Lachlan. I just checked if my fish was alive. Because I don't want him to die. That'd be sad. So. So in the source, let's make resources.cpp again, and I have all this stuff here. Hello, DGMTV. I don't know if you just joined, but thanks for coming on. So this is all ripped code from the game. Whatever. It's fine. So I have to make a struct shader, and this is kind of like a pointless struct because I just have a single ID in it, and then this all makes sense, I think. I don't think I have to modify that at all. This is annoying. This thing's really annoying. Load shader. I don't know why I wrote it this way, but I passed in 3 different file names, even though they all start with the same, like, even though they're all the same name, they just have different extensions, right? So I have 3 files per shader, vertex fragment, and then an info thing that just is my own thing that I just wrote to bind in and out stuff. So if I want to ever have multiple render targets or stuff like that, I can just throw in a new out in that file. And I think that this is one of the problems with overgeneralizing code, right? So I thought that it would be useful for whatever reason to load in a shader by passing in all 3 file names, despite the fact that for all of my purposes I only needed 1, right? I only needed to pass in the name of the file, and then I would just append the extensions inside this function. So yeah, nice. I don't know what clipped means. I'm new to Twitch, so I don't know, but yeah. So that's like one of the things, right? You don't want to overgeneralize your code because it creates more problems than it solves, right? I only needed to pass in the name of the file, not the name of the file 3 times with 3 different extensions, because I already know what the extensions are. So that's that. And then what I'm going to do in here to just kind of fix that, I'll just do 60 or vert file name 64 is going to be fine for my purposes in this program. Frag file name 64, same thing. Info file name 64. 64 is like more than enough, right? I don't think that there's too much to worry about there. Sprintf for file name. This is like all like, yeah, sprintf is like, it can be unsafe in this case and stuff, but whatever. I'm just trying to get this to work. So we'll do the file name and then .vert. And then we'll do frag and then info, right? And then frag and info. We need a bot. We need a bot that gives me reminders to check on my fish. That's a very good idea. And also, Doggerooski, you said hell yes. I don't know what you're referring to. Oh, Rival Thin Matrix with fish updates in each devlog. Oh man. Maybe you'll see my fish in the next devlog. Maybe. We'll see what happens, right? So, and also DGMTV, I definitely agree. Overgeneralizing, yeah, I would say it is worse than premature optimization because, I mean, well, I don't know. How do you measure what's bad and what's good? But it's really bad. Hello CJM. I don't know. I'm not sure I know you by that username if I know you. But yeah, thanks for coming on. Good to see you here. Yeah. So, anyways, let me actually make this shader code work. That's all I need, actually. That should be good. Now I can load in shaders. At least I should be able to. There might be some errors that I have to go in and fix, but probably not, if I had to guess. That should be alright. We'll do resources.cpp in there, and then in the viewer, we'll just create a shader object, height map shader, and then when we initialize, oh, hiccups, man. No bueno. V height map shader equals load shader. We'll just call it height map, and that should be fine. And I don't know if I have like a cleanup shader function. I guess it'd be nice if I did, just to kind of keep things looking nice. It won't matter in the grand scheme of things, but don't mind me. I'm grabbing the correct code for that right now because I don't want to write this stuff again. I just want to get a height map on the screen. So I'm copying code all over the place. Here we go. Is this going to be a regular thing, CJM? Probably. I can't guarantee like ultra like regularity, just because my schedule varies all the time with because I'm like studying at university and with work and everything. But I hope to do this pretty regularly because it's actually pretty enjoyable. So yeah, what does my fish look like? It's a male beta. So yeah, overgeneralizing is premature de-optimization. Yeah, fair enough. Like that's actually true because overgeneralizing things is usually slower. Hello, one and only Mastermind Axe. Thanks for coming on. Good to see you here. Thank you, CJM. I appreciate the comments. There should be a devlog coming soon. What soon entails, I'm not exactly sure. Probably within the next week or so. But yeah, glad you're enjoying them. Yeah. So, and then we'll do clean up shader since we have that now. Wait, do we have that? I didn't paste that in here, did I? I don't think I did. There we go. It's just that. It's like whatever. It's fine. Clean up shader, and then we'll just pass in the height map shader, and then let's see if that's all working well. Whoa! I'm not including string, right, because I use the C standard library right now. I hope to not at some point, but I do right now, so I guess we'll include standard lib page as well. Okay. Could not find heightmap.vert. That makes sense because it doesn't exist because I haven't written it. And I don't know why it had 2 dots in there. That was sort of weird. Oh, that makes sense because I put 2 dots in, right? Yeah, I did this dot this and then I did dot vert. So that's all I need to do. Male beta. There's 2 T's in that, Miyotatsu. 2 T's in beta. So, okay. Let's see if this is going to be better now. It's going to be looking for the right file name. It is. Could not open. Makes sense. We'll go ahead and write the shader. And the way we will do that, we will not add it to the active project. I mean, I guess we could. Doesn't matter. I don't know. We'll add it to the project. But I want to put it in resource because it's not technically a source file. It gets loaded in at runtime. So that's that. Heightmap.vert. And that will be that. Alright. We'll do the same thing except for... Oh, looks like I got an IRC message. I don't know if I should... Miyotatsu, I don't know if I should mention your IRC message. CJM, I am building a height map viewer. This is a test stream, so I'm not actually working on the game this stream. I could be working on the game. I just wanted to do something just fun and just kind of testing the waters of, as somebody else said earlier, testing the waters of streaming in general. So I'm just making a height map viewer. It's like a low poly height map viewer in theory. I don't know if I'll get it done today, but yeah. So let's see. Heightmap.frag is also something we need, and then we'll also want to do heightmap.info. So now I have all my shader files. We want to do version 330 core in all of them. Well, not the info file because that's my own thing. In the info file, we're going to want to pass in position into attribute 0, and then we'll want to pass in normal in 1, and then we'll do in color 2, and then out color 0. And I think that's, as far as I know, that's what that sort of thing expect. So I can actually jump in. You guys get to see some exclusive shaders of the game, I guess, because I'm going to use them as a reference. Just grab these. Here they are. So for the info file, yeah, don't need quotes or anything. You just put them like that. So that makes perfect sense. As far as this stuff, I'm pretty sure I know how that all works, but I'll keep it open just in case. So for vert, we need to pass in the uniform mat for low poly shader engine. Not an engine. I wouldn't say an engine. I'm just trying to get a height map displaying just for fun. So map 4, we need one of those, right? So we need map 4. We'll have model, view, and projection being passed in. And then, yeah, and then we just actually need to get the stuff that I said I would pass into the shader. So in position, in normal, one, wait, what am I doing? Whew, man. Position, and then in vec3 in color. And I think that's looks correct to me. Yeah, that should be fine. And then we just have void main, and then we'll do GL position. We need to write to that to, oh, this is the vertex shader. So we'll just write to GL position. We'll set it equal to in position. We need to make that a vec4 since we're multiplying to 4x4 vectors, or matrices, and it's a position, so we want 1, and then we'll do times model times view times projection. And since I'm not an expert, as I stated in matrix math, yeah, that's in the wrong order. Having references is useful. So we'll do projection times view. I know that like the order in which you multiply by matrices is actually really important, so hopefully I'll know the math at some point to back that claim up. So what we're going to need to pass to the fragment shader is probably going to be the normal and the color, right? Because in the fragment shader we're going to want to shade it. Actually, we can probably do that per vertex in this case. I'll just do it per fragment right now, just because I've never done low poly and I want to just sort of get it working, and then I can try to look at that later. So out vec3, we'll do normal and then color, and then we'll just set those equal to what just directly was passed in. So normal equals in normal, and then color equals in color. Do you take notes to use as reference, or are you using other references? No, I'm just sort of looking at the code that I've written specifically for like the game on my YouTube channel, The Melodist. I'm just looking at that as a reference. I don't take notes or anything, and I'm not looking at like a website right now or anything. So, but I might need to. I don't know. Yeah. So in the fragment shader, it's going to need to expect two 3D vectors, normal and a color, and then actually I don't want to name it color because that's the I guess I'll prefix these with vert because I'm writing to color. That needs to be an out vector, so I don't want to pass it in and out. I don't think you can do that. When was the Melodist started? CJM. It's totally okay to ask off-topic things. This is just like a relaxing stream that I'm doing, whatever. It's cool. It was started... So I'm currently a second semester sophomore in university, and it was started in the summer before my freshman year at university. So a year and a half ago, maybe. But I will say that it wasn't actually like I didn't start on it in its current form until about a year ago. Yeah, Miyotatsu. The name has gone kind of crazy. Dissonance was taken, and like the meaning of the game has evolved over time too. So dissonance actually had like a really important meaning to me, but I didn't end up using it because of the name collision with another game, right? Cadence was sort of like a stand-in, I guess. I didn't really like when I heard the name Cadence, I was sort of like whoa, but like, or I wasn't like that, rather. It was just sort of a stand-in, and I figured I would grow to like it over time. And then I like Googled Cadence game, and then I see that there's a game called Cadence, and that's unfortunate, right? So yeah, so came up with the name the Melodist probably a couple months ago at this point, and I really like it, and I think it actually embodies what I'm trying to do with the game pretty well. Handmade Hero as inspiration, yes, to an extent. I'm not nearly as hardcore as Casey is, and I will never pretend to be. But I love a lot of what Casey has to say, and he's really inspiring to me. Yeah, Lachlan, yeah. So, also, congratulations on almost graduating CJM. That's awesome. So we'll go ahead and do this. This is all important now. I'm gonna check how many people are watching still. 24, wow. Still so much. I've been going for like an hour, almost an hour and a half, and so still so many people watching. So thank you guys so much. This is awesome. Could not open heighmap.vert. Oh yeah, because it's in resources/heighmap.vert. Silly me. So we'll go to this, and we'll just do, I guess that's kind of annoying to type, and we don't want to do it every time, so we'll do that, and we'll do resources directory, whoops, about to do another macro. Casey does not have a fish. He has an owl, like a fake owl, though, right? So I don't know. I don't know how much I have on Casey. I'm just kidding. But resource directory. I can't talk right now. We'll do resources, and that should work now. Hopefully it compiles. Still doesn't. Oh, because it's resource. It's not resources. Programming with Ryan. Here we go. There we go. Cool. It's successfully compiled. That's pretty rad. We're gonna force the fish meat until he's drenched in stinky seafood. Yeah. Maybe a bit of beard shampoo. Okay. So now the only thing that we really have to do is draw it. We still have to do all the normal stuff and whatnot, but I just kind of want to get something on the screen. So we'll do GLBind vertex array. Just bind that. GLBind add the 0. GLBind. Also, I think did I end up? I did not. I need to set that back to 0, I think. I need a signature drink. Yeah, I do. I don't know, like, I was drinking tea earlier, but that's, like, kind of a lame signature drink. So. So, we'll bind the vertex array, and then we also have to bind the buffer. we've only generated the vertex buffer, so we'll do that. And GL bind buffer, GL array buffer, 0. T is John's thing. Yeah, I can't possibly do that. I do have granola bars just in case I got hungry. I didn't really want to eat on stream. I feel like that's kind of weird. I don't want people to watch me eat, but yeah. So vertex. Okay, and this thing, I don't know the difference between array attrib and attrib array. Does anybody know like what that is with OpenGL? Because I have no idea. Like, this is a valid function, and this is a valid function, and I just always get them confused. Attrib array, array attrib. It's probably attrib array, right? Is what I want, right? Yeah, it is, I think. I just, like, why is that a thing? Like, I don't know. That was always really confusing to me. Yeah, Doggerooski. It's, why? What, like, I don't oh, man. There was, like, this ridiculous, like, problem that I had. I don't know if that was it, actually. I'm not going to bring it up, because I don't know if it'll be accurate, but just get hammered before I stream. I'll pass on that since I'm programming my game at least once the real streams start. Yeah, I think array attrib takes in 2 arguments. So yeah, that's apparently a thing. And I think I actually have to do this, right? Is that all I have to do? I think that's all I have to do. Draw arrays. I have to pass in the uniforms too. GL triangles. And then first, I guess I just do 0, right? And then count. There are just the number of triangles that I calculated before, right? So height map width -1, and then times height map height. Game development seems to be a career that could lead to excessive drinking. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know if it's like my career yet. Hopefully. I don't know. It would be cool to do it for a job. But, yeah, I don't know. Oh, yeah, we have to bind the shader, right? Okay. GL use program. We'll do v shader.id, and then we'll just do a 0 there. I feel like I'm missing something. I always miss something in this particular stage of the program. But I'll pass in the uniforms now. Which should be matrix 4 by uh-oh, this is another thing. Oh, F and V. Okay, that makes sense. So, location, GL get uniform location. And I don't want to do this every time, so I'm just going to do active shader equals v height map shader.id, and then I'm just going to use this glun because I really don't want to type that every time. And then we'll do model is the first one that we're going to pass in. The count, transpose, we want false, GL false. And then the pointer to the first element, I forgot what, I don't quite remember what count is. I guess it's just 1. I think it's just 1 because we're just passing in one matrix, right? The fact that I'm streaming in a sophomore seems to be that I'm on the right path. Maybe. We'll see. I hope so. But, you know, who knows what will come of everything. So, we need to pass in a pointer to the elements of the matrix. So all we have to do is pass in a pointer or a reference to model.elements at 0, 0. So we'll just pass in that. And then I think all we have to do is pass in the same stuff, but for the other two matrices that we're working with here. And then that might be all we need to do. I'm skeptical though. I always forget something. Let's see if there's a compiler. That's always a good sign. That was actually sarcastic. Usually it's like not a good sign. Unless you're like deliberately trying to ruin your program. I'm just gonna uncomment this stuff one little bit at a time. If anybody sees anything, definitely let me know. Okay, so it's not the fact that I'm binding the shader. And yes, I debug this way. I don't like using a debugger. Everybody's gonna yell at me. I don't know what... This has been nagging me for a year. Oh. That's all good. I don't know what good mythical morning is, honestly. Gonna be honest, Lachlan. But looks like it's honestly the draw erase call. Probably because like I didn't initialize something or something like that. Yep, it is. What do you know? Is it the fact that I'm not passing in the other things that I'm expecting? It very well might be. So maybe I should just do this for now. And then just not expect these. I don't know. Let's just try to get the something drawing here. One color. Whoa. Vert color is not defined. I'll just make it red. Printf debugging is the way to go. Yes, I usually printf debug because, yeah, because I just think it's simpler to me. Usually I don't need anything else, but I understand, like, that's, like, really, like, I know, like, debugging is cool, and I use it sometimes, and looking at disassembly is actually really nice and useful. I'm not really that good at it, but, yeah. Just like debugging a driver. I'm not sure what you're referring to, but, I might be missing something. I don't know. The lower level you go, the more time you spend on a debugger. Yeah. I don't know. I've used Visual Studio's debugger, and I've used GDB and stuff, and, like, it's nice to be able to look at, like, the actual assembly instructions that are, like, actually being, like, run by the CPU. Other than that, like, I just think it's simpler to just, like, I mean, breakpoints are nice and stuff, but, like, I don't know. Usually I don't want to navigate some, like, horrible interface, and I just want to print out a value or something, so that's just what I'll do. It's worked for me, so, like, yeah. Usually. I was actually doing something the other day where, like, my entire, like, stack got totally messed up. Actually, I told you about it, Miyotatsu, but my entire stack got, like, totally messed up, and, like, everything was just crashing the second I, like, jumped into a function, and I was like, this is so weird. But, so, yeah. Okay, that makes sense. CPP for the win. So, yeah. Anyways, I don't know. I don't have much else to say about that, but as far as, like, why this is crashing, I'm not 100% sure. Okay, so I have a couple errors here. Implicit cast from Vec 4 to Vec 3. I did not mean to do that. I'm sorry. GLSL. Oh, I guess I'm looking at the wrong thing. Oh, right, because that should be a vec4, right? So it's compiling successfully, and now the only thing that's crashing is GL draw arrays, right? Yeah, that crashes everything. I must have forgotten to do something. I guess what we can do is actually check for an OpenGL error during the main loop. So we'll just do GLNum error equals you'll get error. Did I start programming with C++? Yes, I did. CJM. I started doing C++ and I kind of learned it the way most people do, with getting into the whole like classes and object oriented and all that stuff. And about like a year and a half ago, I started like kind of thinking about it, and I was like, I don't really want to program that way anymore. So I've been trying to change the way I do that sort of thing. And yeah, but I did start with C++. I mean, this is technically C++, right? This is a C++ compiled program. I'm just not using most of what C++ has to offer. Some of the things that I am using that are only available in the C++ compiler are, for example, I'm not type defing this struct, right? So I can just use the name viewer data. I don't have to do like struct viewer data or whatever. I don't know like if I need to be telling anybody this. But yeah. Log file error. I'll say it's an OpenGL error, and then I'll do the integer for it, and then the error value. Did you find that melds well with university? I'm not sure what you're referring to in particular. But yes, I do use function overloading. I don't like having to like postfix all my function names. I think it's nice to be able to overload functions, but I usually do, I don't think I've like ever in recent memory I haven't ever done operator overloading at all. So yeah, I've been going for an hour and a half. How many people are still watching? 21. Okay. Yeah, as soon as I get something drawing, I'm going to try to, assuming I do, I'm going to try to kind of end the stream. I might stick around for some questions or something if anybody has any. And then I'll do another test stream, and I'll just try to, make it pretty and make camera rotation and stuff like that. Oh, I don't know if they mark code. Yeah, I mean, I've had to take, like, object-oriented classes and stuff, and I've had to program in an object-oriented fashion. So I know how to do it. I just don't prefer to do it, like, with my own programs and stuff. Because I don't think it's productive. So, but I mean, it definitely depends on your teacher and your university and stuff like that. But if I have an assignment in my object-oriented programming class and I just come in with like this C program that doesn't do any of that stuff, then yeah, like you'll get marked down, right? Because they're trying to teach you certain concepts. What language do they teach at my university? They do teach C++, One and Only Mastermind X. They start you off with C++. Eventually, you can kind of, once you get into higher level courses, you can kind of do whatever you want, depending on what you're doing, obviously. But yeah, they start you off with C++. Like the fundamentals course is all in C++ and stuff. We never really get into C, which I thought was quite unfortunate, but yeah. So either way, that's bizarre. I'm not getting an OpenGL error. Did I compile? I compiled, right? Yeah, I compiled. Okay. So that's weird. Let me just make sure, like, yeah, OpenGL errors, they're only errors if it's non-zero. Wow, yeah, you're only taught Java at your university. Yeah, I don't really like working with stuff like Java or C Sharp. I haven't used Java, but I've used C Sharp, and I know they're pretty similar. And I don't like it. And I have taken assembly courses also, Mastermind X. So I actually really like assembly. It's pretty enjoyable. CJM, you started with C and worked your way up. That's awesome. I wish I did that. And so 1995. Yeah, it makes sense that like that stuff is used for operating systems and whatnot. Yeah, and Doggeruski, I hear Java is a lot worse than C Sharp. That's the general thing that I've heard, but I know they're like similar in at least the paradigms that they use to structure their language. I've used C Sharp like to a very limited extent. Like I'm definitely not like a C Sharp master, just like I'm not a C master or a C++ master. I'm never gonna claim that, at least in the foreseeable future. So, yeah. Now, I don't know why this is failing. I guess let's try not freeing vertices. Do I have to keep them around? Maybe I should actually uncomment the part that's crashing. Yeah, I don't think I have to keep them around. I don't know. So, I guess we'll just, maybe this is the problem. So we'll do one, and then comment the rest. And that's not working. So that's really interesting. If anybody has any sort of idea, it'd be good. I don't know why it would crash necessarily. To me, it would make sense if it like just threw a bunch of errors, but I don't. So I imagine that I just didn't initialize something properly. So usually, okay, the iDog for the win. Usually, it's an error when loading into memory. That makes a lot of sense. So vertices. Yeah, it must be some like memory issue with like loading the memory, or maybe what I should really do is check like initialization code for the melodist, because that actually works, and I don't want to spend forever trying to debug this issue. So I'm going to open it up, and I have some like to-do stuff and some game design stuff in here that I don't like want to spoil for everybody. So I'm going to look at it on my second monitor. Sorry. So let's see. As far as initializing, like there's definitely stuff about okay. Yeah, I don't think I really forgot to do any of that. I did forget to like set some OpenGL flags that I might need. So I'm going to do that. Let's do it in main, because whatever. But I don't think that would matter at all. Yeah, that's kind of bizarre. It must just be something that I'm doing with memory loading. That's my intuition. Must be this buffer data call, perhaps? I guess I'll keep comparing it. I guess I'll keep comparing it to my Melodist code and see if anything comes up. Yeah, the iDog for the win. I've had similar issues before, but I don't know. I heap allocate to the right stuff, it seems. Greater than or equal to width. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure what the problem is. I guess what I'll see, I'll start by just making sure that the generation of the buffer is working. It should be, but just to double check. 1, that seems reasonable. It's not 0. Well, maybe I should check. Yeah, that's correct. And maybe just in case I didn't read my thing correctly earlier, maybe there is a problem with that. I have to explicitly cast in C++. That is not the problem. Well, it might be. I don't know. I'll keep that there for now. And oh, goodness gracious. That's an important call that I forgot. Yeah, that's really important. I wonder if it'll crash now. It will not. How about that? You can't see anything, and that's presumably because the camera is at, like, 0, 0, 0, right? It should be. I'm just going to separate this out into a block so it's easier to look at. But yeah, it doesn't crash anymore. That doesn't mean it works, but it doesn't crash. So, view equals, or yeah, I'm actually not even setting the view at all. So, what I'll do is actually, I'll have some 3D vectors. Yeah, the iDog for the win. I feel like there's a lot of stuff to remember when you use OpenGL unless you really understand what's happening on the GPU, which I unfortunately don't, and I would love to change that, but unfortunately as it stands currently, I'm still a little plebeian, so I kind of just hack stuff together when I use OpenGL still, and hopefully that'll change at some point, but so I, and then target, and then so when we call lookat, we'll do vi and then v target, and then up we'll always have it be 0, 1, 0. And then when I initialize viewer, I want to set the eye to be at, let's just do something random right now, like 10, 10, 10, and then target will be 0, 0, 0. Whoa! I see something. I don't know why it's not filled in, but I see something. So that's awesome. So something's drawing. And I've already gone for almost 2 hours. So I'm gonna like maybe stick around for like however long. If people have any questions or anything, Glor though maybe. Oh, GL Ortho. No, that's for, as far as I know, that's using deprecated like projection matrix stuff that was in the like dedicated matrices that OpenGL stored, and we're not using the OpenGL matrices because we have our own. So yeah, so I'm gonna cut this off. Or at least I'm gonna stop coding. I'll stick around if anybody has questions. If not, that's totally cool. But yeah, I'm gonna be done programming. I got something drawing, right? So you know that's how much 2 hours is, I guess, at this point. But yeah, so thanks everybody for tuning in. I don't know how many people are still left. 26. Wow, it went up. So yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna stop programming. I'll stick around. If anybody has questions, feel free to shoot them my way. And I'll wait around for a few minutes if nobody's gonna send any questions, and then I'll go ahead and jump off. And yeah, so if you're gonna leave right now, thank you so much for coming to the stream, to my first like real stream, I guess. It's a test stream, right? But thanks so much for coming, guys. And if you're leaving right now, I'll see you later. Hope to see you at the next stream. So thank you. So I see your question, Miyotatsu, but I'm gonna go in order. What are your thoughts on functional programming? I'm assuming you're meaning things like Haskell and stuff. I don't know much about them. I don't know very much about them. They don't seem like they're the sort of thing that I would like to do. I sort of prefer having a pretty good understanding of the things that are happening and the order in which they're happening. So that's my opinion on that, I guess. I don't really have one because enlightened centrist, I guess. But I don't know too much about it, so I'm not gonna like say something that I'm not gonna embarrass myself on my first stream. That's the goal, right? Let's see. Is my fish still alive, Miyotatsu? Let me check. Because I do still care about that, even though it's becoming a meme. He is still alive. He's having a good time swimming around. Thanks for the stream. Look forward to the next one. Thank you so much, CJM, for coming in. Hope to see you next time. I look like Andrew Hales. I don't know who that is. Who is that? Andrew Hales. I'll look at it later. I don't want to. Yeah, I'll look at it later. Apparently I do, but cool. How much longer do I have on my degree? Randall, I mean, like, if I'm... Like, the plan is, like, 4 years, but I can't guarantee myself or anybody else that that I'll get it done in 4 years. So, but right now I'm on the second semester of my second year, so... I mean, if we're going by the 4-year thing, roughly 2 years, maybe 2.5 years, that sort of period of time. CJM, what would my dream job be? Definitely, probably making games. Just not really for a big company. I think making games for like a big company might be cool and interesting, but I'm much more interested in sort of making games that embody the values that I care about, which wouldn't happen at a AAA company. Making games is pretty much where I want to be, but it's all who knows what's gonna happen, right? But yeah, that's like, hopefully that answers your question. Can I send you all a photo of your fish? I will. I'll put it in my community Discord. I won't do it right now, but I'll put it in my Discord after I officially end the stream. So, yeah. Do I have a plan for another game jam at some point? I don't. I just attended the one game jam. I don't know. I don't know the schedule of them or anything. I really enjoyed the game jam. I think it was a good time. Miyatatsu. All right, I'll put the fish in the devlog. Um, but yeah. So yeah, I don't know when the next I don't know when the next game jam that I'll attend. I don't know when that will be, but yeah, I did math on pledging on Patreon. I'll definitely have some clips of the fish. um, I did actually do a hackathon recently, where I made another game that I haven't made a video about yet. So, did I participate in any programming challenges, like problem-solving problems and stuff? I've done a few programming challenges. I did one. I've participated on the online website. I've done stuff on the website Project Euler. Fun fact: my fish's name is Euler, like the mathematician. So, but I've done problems on Project Euler, and I've only done like a few. I haven't done a whole lot. But other than that, I've also participated in a coding competition at my school, put on by my school's ACM. So yeah, and I actually ended up winning that. I was in the intermediate category, so I wasn't like top of everything, but in my category, I ended up winning, so that was a good time. Euler the fish, yes, indeed. Yeah, I mean, I haven't learned linear algebra. I've done like Calc 1 and 2, and then I've done discrete math, so or discrete structures. So that's like the extent, like, and like obviously everything before that. But yeah, all praise Euler. Yeah, yeah, he's a good guy. And your stream's dead again. I'm sorry about that. I don't know if that's a problem. Hopefully it's good for everybody else. I don't know if that's a problem on your end. How old am I? I'm 20. I just turned 20. I turned 20 on February 27th, actually. So, pretty recently. Good guy Euler, yeah. If I ever like make a bot or something for IRC or something, I'll name it Good Guy Euler. Hail Euler. It's spelled like Euler, like um, Randall. Any plans for moving out of the U.S.? Not in the foreseeable future. Maybe someday. I don't know. We'll see what happens, I guess. Depends on where everything takes me. But right now, not in the foreseeable future. But you never know. Yeah. So if are there any additional questions? We're coming up to about 2 hours now. Canada's cool, apparently. I'll be sure to at least visit there. If I get partnered on Twitch, I should have a Good Guy Euler fish emote. Yeah, so I'm just gonna check if there are any additional questions here. So I don't know if anybody's got any more. If you have any more questions, feel free to drop by in my community Discord server. You can find the link to that in like almost any video description on my channel. So with that said, I would like to thank everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in, CJM. I'll see you later, hopefully. And you will see Euler in the next devlog. But yeah. Yeah. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for tuning into my first stream. And I will yeah, I'll stream again pretty soon, I think. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Hope to see you guys in the next stream. Yes, who's that? Jack. Yes, Jack. I'm done streaming right now. Yeah. yeah, Rector. I'll name my second fish Gauss. Yeah. So anyways, I'll see you guys later. Thank you so much for tuning into the stream. Hope to see you in the next one. Take care.